Arlington Mayor Jim Ross, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Good morning. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. And so I wanted to ask you about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Obviously, Arlington hosted it. And so I'm wondering, how did it go and how was Arlington received by Major League Baseball? What did they say?
I believe Arlington was received extraordinarily well. I was able to speak to the commissioner. We did a dedication of a Little League park here, a legacy park with the Rangers Foundation in the city of Arlington, and the commissioner was gracious enough to come over and help with the ribbon cutting of that. Um, Everything seemed to go well. He was very happy with the All-Star game, fan experience. I had great reports from people coming by and seeing everything that was in Arlington to be experienced. So, haven't gotten the full report on everything yet, but we had a good group of out-of-towners come here to North Texas, and it's always great to show off North Texas.
And so let me ask you, what lessons has the city or you learned from this experience? Because obviously in 2026, you've got World Cup coming and a lot of soccer matches there. So I'm wondering, what has the city learned as far as hotels and security and traffic and just the overall hospitality?
Well, I tell everybody this is the type of stuff Arlington was born and raised to do. We've hosted Super Bowls and World Series parades and Taylor Swift concerts. We've done it all here in Arlington. And knock on wood, we've done it all with very little issues on that. What we were looking at here is, can we move people in and out of our city and allow them the opportunity to enjoy the fan experience during the All-Star game in a safe, friendly environment? I think all those things were accomplished. People were easily able to get in and out of the city. A lot of hotel rooms available, restaurants, the retail stores. Everybody reaped the benefit of all the visitors. I had an opportunity to say hello to a lot of out-of-towners as they were coming through the fan experience, and I heard nothing but wonderful, raving reviews.
What did they tell you specifically? What did they like?
Everything but the heat. They love the fan experience. They love how everything was set up through Choctaw Stadium, esports, and the Arlington Museum of Art. Absolutely loved Globe Life Field and the fact that, especially in a hot July summer here in Texas, that it is enclosed and air conditioned, and they could sit in there and enjoy the home run derby, the all-star game, all of those type of things. It's a little warm to be walking around. At least it was over the last few days. And So if I heard any complaints, it was about the heat. But, listen, we had plenty of water out there. We were keeping everybody hydrated, no major incidents, and we're very happy with the results.
Arlington also hosted Copa America, several soccer matches at AT&T Stadium, and I'm wondering if there was any learning from that experience.
There's learning from every one of these experiences that we do. How can we better serve all the visitors, all the residents of Arlington? When we have an influx of people coming in for these big events like Copa and the World Cup and the All-Star Game and Super Bowls and everything else that comes with being the entertainment capital of the Southwest United States. When we have events that come in here, we look and analyze every single time. How can we make things easier? How can we make things safer? How can we better this experience for people? So we try to take things to heart with every single event we do.
And you mentioned the Super Bowl and the Dallas Cowboys, and the North Texas region, I would imagine, are still trying to get another Super Bowl back at AT&T Stadium. It's been a while. The
Oh,
last one didn't go so great as far as weather, as far as seating issues. And so I'm wondering, what is the main hurdle that you're hearing to winning another Super Bowl here?
I don't know that there's any big hurdle for us to get another Super Bowl here, and especially in light of the horribly bad weather that we had at the last one. Um, I think that the NFL is going to move these Super Bowls around. They're going to give those fans experience to different places around the country. They have to make their rounds. Make no mistake, we are back in that rotation. We're going to be getting one back at some point in time. We don't have a date yet. We don't know which year we're going to be doing yet, but we're all working on that.
And, obviously the entertainment district has grown quite a bit since the last Super Bowl. And so you just opened, the Lowe's just opened its nearly 900 room hotel. They already had a 200 plus room hotel there. So talk to me a little bit about that. And plus, am I hearing correctly about the Sheridan going under renovations, or what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, ultimately, I think what you're going to see is more hotels coming up here in the entertainment district. We have a thriving and growing entertainment district. You will be seeing not only more hotels, and we just opened the Drury Hotel as well, which is over 300 rooms, or close to 300 rooms, I should say now. We just opened the Drury Hotel here and right off of I-30 and Collins as well. So we have a lot of hotel space that we didn't have in the last Super Bowl. And we're having quality hotel space. The new Lowe's Arlington is second to none. It's the largest ballroom in all of North Texas, 52,000 square foot ballroom.
Wow.
Unbelievable stuff. The pool area with the cabanas and everything, it looks like you've walked into a large Las Vegas resort area. It's just one of the most grand places ever. Over 300,000 square foot of exhibit and convention center space with that massive crystal ballroom. So we can now compete with pretty much any city in the country when it comes to attracting big business, when attracting conventions here. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have the opportunity to house these teams where in the past we didn't have that opportunity. And we're excited about what the future holds for us.
So I just want to follow up. What's going on with the Sheridan Hotel?
Sheridan's going to be staying here at least through the World Cup. I think once the World Cup is gone, because we need those bed spaces for the World Cup, you're going to see some renovations over there, not necessarily renovations on the Sheridan, but probably demolishing of the Sheridan and building a new hotel or hotels over there at some point.
Wow. That's big news.
It's big news. Can't let all the cats out of the bag at one time, but yeah, the Sheridan's gonna stick around here for a while, but you're gonna see a new hotel coming up in place of that.
Same owner?
Let's hold off and let them make that announcement of who it's
Okay.
gonna be.
And plus, you mentioned the museums. You have the art museum that moved in that space where the esports was, right?
Yeah, we have the Arlington Museum of Art now over 50,000 square foot. Beautiful museum. They just had the Pompeii exhibit there. First time in years that Pompeii has come back to the United States. We're blessed to have it there. They have a big Disney exhibit coming up this summer as well. But then we have the Medal of Honor Museum that's going to be opening on March 25th of next year. A big, huge national attraction here in the heart of North Texas. That's going to bring visitors from all over the world to come see the Medal of Honor Museum, honoring the men and women who have received the Medal of Honor in serving our country. It's really exciting.
I wanted to ask you because Six Flags, the corporate office, is moving out of Texas, out of Arlington. And And so I'm wondering, I was reading a little bit about how the new corporation may be having to pay the city of Arlington. What can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I don't know. We have a great relationship with Six Flags. And yeah, we had an understanding that when we helped move them into Choctaw Stadium, we spent some money on there with the understanding that the headquarters was going to be here in Arlington. And because of their merger, they've decided to move the headquarters. And I get it. I understand how these things work. So we are discussing things with Six Flags now. I don't know that it's going to be a situation where they're going to pay us or what it's going to happen with that. But we also have other companies that are interested in the Six Flags space inside Choctaw. So if we can swap out one world headquarter for another, we might be, happy to do that. And Six Flags is working with us on that type of stuff. So the good thing about Six Flags is they're good people, and we have a great relationship with them. And we'll work through these issues on them moving. I've spoken to who was the former CEO of Six Flags, but now the chair. The CEO of the chairman of the board of directors, and he's assured us that they're going to maintain some type of significant headquarters here in Arlington, and I love hearing that. So they're gonna keep some offices here.
Just not quite the size.
Well, the size is increasing quite a bit with their merger now. They're becoming the largest amusement park owner in the world. And so I get it when they merge with the new company and they have this, that size is growing, and that was part of their deal on the merger, was moving to the East Coast. So
But I meant the
um
size of the office space that they need won't be as
yeah, yeah,
large.
you're right, Jack. They're probably not going to need the full size that they've had in the past.
So let's talk about some other issues. High-speed rail has been making some headlines here in North Texas the last
Sure.
month. And my question to you is, I know there's been a lot of talk and discussion and planning about a route from downtown Dallas to downtown Fort Worth through Arlington and presumably the entertainment district are pretty close to it.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering where things stand now. But the last time I had checked, there wouldn't be a Dallas to Fort Worth route if there was no Dallas to Houston route first of a high-speed rail. So has that changed, and what can you tell me?
Yeah, that's not my understanding. And to be candid, I think the Dallas Arlington Fort Worth chain is one that is ahead of the game when it comes to bringing it to fruition, more so than the Dallas to Houston chain. Because to be honest, the Dallas Arlington Fort Worth chain is coming down I-30, and there's no big eminent domain issues here. We're all talking state or federal land that we can easily get down on that. So we've also entered into an environmental study with the federal government. When I say we, that's the Council of Governments and the Regional Transportation Commission here in North Texas have entered into the environmental study that is required to be finished around springtime of next year. So that is further along than what you're seeing with the Dallas to Houston chain on that. I think the Dallas to Houston chain is amazing. I think it's needed. I think that helps connect North and South Texas like has never been done before. And I think it's going to benefit everybody. This has been a process that's been going on for years and years and years. Fort Worth, Arlington, and Dallas, and the Regional Transportation Commission all came to an understanding years ago about the three stops and what was going to be needed to have those three stops. Um, Dallas recently did their resolution that said, listen, we're not saying no. This is my understanding. We're not saying no to a downtown stop. We're just saying we want to pump the brakes and do an economic analysis of that. I think that's well within their right to do. And I applaud their city council for being cautious about it. My only caveat to everything is we're under deadlines, and I want to make sure that if Dallas is pumping the brakes over there, that we're not doing anything to adversely impact the deadlines that everybody is under with the federal government and our environmental study. So, we either need to speed up this economic analysis of how things are going, and also I'll add in, when Dallas did that, Arlington and Fort Worth both stepped up and said, "Hey, listen, we'll all join in. Let's do an economic analysis on everything on here, and Arlington and Fort Worth will help pay for it." And so, this is a collaborative effort. We want what's best for Dallas, for Fort Worth, for Carrollton, for Frisco, because the better they all do, the better Arlington does. And I think we're going to get there eventually.
Who's going to pay for all this? Is this all going to be taxpayer funded, or is there going to be some private money just on the Dallas to Fort Worth leg?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is the vast majority of this is going to be federal funds that come in with the help of RTC and the Council of Governments. That's where the vast majority of this money is coming from. This is going to be a Amtrak run high-speed rail that, can get you from Dallas to Fort Worth with a stop in Arlington and, 24 minutes type of thing. 12 minutes going from Arlington to either city. That's pretty cool.
And so, what are the biggest challenges, in your opinion, that the city is facing right now?
Deadlines. You mean for the high
Just,
speed rail?
just, just on everything, not necessarily high-speed rail, but just as overall issues facing the city.
I guess our biggest issue is trying to keep all the balls in the air as Arlington develops more and more momentum as things are going along. Uh, we've got good things happening here, great businesses coming to Arlington, new buildings coming in, new developments happening, renovations of everything from the old Lincoln Square to a massive new satellite company coming in down at our airport. Just constant developments and attractions to what's going on here in Arlington. We're more than just the entertainment district. We're extraordinarily proud of that. But keeping all the balls in the air and keeping everybody safe in the process is what our challenges are.
And speaking of safety, public safety, how are the trends as far as violent crime is concerned in your city, and what are you doing to make sure it either stays lower and is decreasing as opposed to going the other way?
Yeah, I'm happy to report that our violent crimes have been going down for the last several years now, and we've made another jump down in our violent crimes and overall crime in Arlington. So, um, uh, we're trending in the right direction. I credit it to both an incredible police chief and police department, an incredible fire department with the first responders out there and getting everybody safe and through disasters that may happen or accidents that happen. But I also credit it with the type of people that live and visit here in Arlington. We did the World Series parade here and had over 700,000 people show up for this World Series parade. Less than 10 arrests were made. Now, that is off the charts phenomenal when you put nearly 750,000 people and have less than 10 arrests. That's not just a credit to the police, but it's a credit to the type of people that are visiting here, the type of people that live here. These are people who enjoy each other. They enjoy having a good time, but they understand what being respectful and acting with dignity is all about. That's something that everybody, particularly politicians, can take as a great example of how to behave themselves.
And my last question to you, Mayor, is obviously our conversation is coming in a presidential election year, and I'm wondering if who you are supporting.
Right to the chase, aren't you? I'm supporting the candidate that I believe brings the most to the office. I'm supporting a candidate who I believe brings integrity and honor and brings the qualities of a leader that I want to have. Now, my vision of that individual may be different than the person who's next to me in any given moment. So um, I support who I think is right. And that's what I would encourage everybody to do is to look at the party. Sorry, look at the person, not the party, and evaluate the individuals out there on who brings the best to the office. That's what I'm doing. I don't fault people who disagree with me one way or the other, but I'm going to stick with the person who I think is best for the office. Did I adequately skirt the issue on that? Because I'm just going to be candid. That's what I intended to do.
Yeah, you're keeping your vote close to your vest.
Yeah, I grew up in the day where, we never talked about who we voted for. We just didn't. We went out there and we voted on the people that we thought were going to serve our community and our country best. And I don't hold anything against people who may disagree with me on that. I miss the days when Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill could disagree and go sit down and have a scotch and come out with a compromise. Uh, what the hell happened to those days? It's not like that anymore. I'm tired of it. And I'll be honest with you, Jack. I think the vast majority of all of us are tired of it. We just want politicians to focus on doing what's best for your community, for your state, and for your country, and leave all the other garbage alone. Leave it be. So it's okay that we look at things differently. A lot of us do. But by God, you don't have to be disrespectful about it. You don't have to act without any dignity. That's what I miss in today's politics is people who just want to do the right thing and who are okay if others don't agree with us.
We will let that be the last word. Arlington Mayor Jim Ross, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. Always good to see you, my friend.